Hey, welcome to Beyond the Forecast. Brian, Michigan, how you doing today?
Good since I surfed earlier.
Yeah, me too.
We both scored.
3 hours I surfed.
Yeah.
I am wiped out, and the day's just getting started, but we're going to have a good day.
The Erin swell starting to make it here in Virginia Beach.
Yes.
You surfed Croatan. I surfed for the jetty.
Yep. Oh, that shot. We do not want to use that. Let's use this instead. So this is the view of Erin right now. That's a big looking storm out there. The storm has gotten larger.
Yeah, definitely larger. It has weakened a little bit though. There's a combination of factors here: shear and a little bit of dry air. The shear mainly kind of making the storm a little bit lopsided. Most of the thunderstorm activity is to the east side of the center. The west side, actually, you can almost kind of see down to the ocean in some portions of it. You can kind of see it. Can you zoom in any closer? Or
I can go in a little bit closer. Yeah, it's definitely lopsided on one side.
Yeah, you see how the taller cloud tops there, kind of more east and then southeast of the center of the storm. Mm-hmm. A little bit of wind shear.
A little bit of that. The storm is likely going to stay as a Category 2 hurricane as it makes its way to the north. But here's the animation right here. I don't know how many frames we have loaded right now. This is looking at about 2 hours. I can see at the bottom of the screen. So this is still an impressive storm. This is likely going to stay as a Category 2 hurricane as it moves on up into our area in the next 24, 48 hours. We'll get that storm to move to the north. I just want to show you the latest from the National Hurricane Center. So this storm right now, Category 2, it has wind speeds at 105 miles an hour. So this thing is still a potent storm. It'll stay that strength as it makes its way farther north. The movement right now is north-northwest, should eventually be due north by tomorrow morning, and then into tomorrow evening, it's northeasterly. So it completes the turn by tomorrow evening off of our coast. No big changes to the track. Wind speeds around 110 to 105 miles an hour as it heads out to sea.
As it moves north too, it's weakening, but it's expanding. The wind
a little
field.
bit.
The wind field's going to be expanding. The tropical storm force winds will extend, well outside from the center of the storm.
Yes.
So maybe in some cases over 500 miles from the center. So that's why we have the now tropical storm warnings in place. Those areas in orange for the Outer Banks. Tropical storm force wind gusts, they're pretty good likelihood here. Gust of 35 to 50, most likely. There could be some places that gust over 50 too.
I think so.
Maybe Rodanthe down through Hatteras, probably the best bet.
Probably the areas that are very exposed. And there is an anemometer, I believe, on Jeanette's Pier in Nags Head that will probably read a high number. I think there might even be one at the Rodanthe Pier. It's not at the end of the pier. I think it's closer to the building itself. But again, that's
it's coming
exposed.
right off the water, yeah.
Yeah, that's exposed. So those numbers are going to come in a little bit high, but it's still a good idea to see what those are when we have this storm coming through, because that's also the same wind that the rooftop of your house gets. So there's going to be some strong winds coming off of the ocean, mainly for the Outer Banks. I'm not as concerned for the Hampton Road cities. It will be a breezy day, and we will have a lot of cloud cover, but in terms of the wind...
we've never seen before.
Right. The wind shouldn't be the big issue. The tidal flooding, though, will start to swell up again. Not extreme, but it could be something that we'll see. Let's talk about the wind speeds here. Here's the wind gusts. So not the sustained winds. These are the gusts going into tonight and overnight and then into tomorrow. Not really seeing a lot of wind coming into our area.
It should be pretty calm, at least through most of, I'd say most of the morning Wednesday, we're looking fine. It's going to be, from south to north first. Obviously, the storm's coming from down in the Bahamas right now. So we're going to be watching really, I'd say Hatteras, maybe around the midday. We start to gust over 20 miles per hour on Wednesday. But other than that, Wednesday's looking like a pretty decent day. We're not going to be seeing much impacts just yet. The surf's still going to be huge.
I really hope that this is right. This is 5 miles an hour in Virginia Beach.
Waves should be clean.
I don't believe that, because today it said it was going to be 10 miles an hour onshore, and it was 5 miles an hour offshore.
Yes.
Because
there was
of the thunderstorm.
Yeah, there was thunderstorms just offshore, sucked the wind offshore, and it cleaned the ocean up for a little bit. I think it's still clean right now. We were just looking at the cams.
I have one of the cams from Avon Pier.
Let's pull it up.
Let's pull it up real quick.
I've been watching this all day. It's huge.
This is huge.
It's breaking well past the pier there in Avon.
Yeah.
And I've seen a couple waves kind of break up against it, and look at like the splash pretty much is going up to the boards. So, and these are and this isn't even high tide yet.
Right. That's a good point. That's a good point.
This is not high tide.
That's a good point.
High tide is still hours away.
Yeah, I wasn't watching the tides down for the Outer Banks.
But look how high the water is just coming up as it is.
It's breaking way outside of the pier. Look at that.
It's
no one's on it.
No, it's kind of washing through. There's massive cleanup sets. I've been looking at it all day. It's probably in that, on the face of the wave, 6 to 8 foot range, maybe close to 10.
How big do you think it was in Virginia Beach today? Because there's a lot of people out there.
It depends on how you measure. Hawaii guys will say it's half a foot.
Right.
But if you're in Virginia Beach, this was 4 foot.
Yeah.
Proper. Like a proper, I'd say on the face, this was like a nice 3 foot, 4 foot day.
Yep.
That's probably my surfer scale of measuring it.
It was a good day.
I think tomorrow will be a little bigger.
It should be 1 to 2 feet bigger. Summer Lane was on our Facebook stream. She said that her dad surfed in Sandbridge. It was so fun today. It was nice because the wind was not messing it up. Let's talk about that wind once again here. Let's get into the serious part of this because we have a lot of people watching right now. And I know you are all not surfing. You all should be surfing, but you're all not surfing. You care about that wind into your home. So let's look at the noon report for tomorrow. We see winds that are onshore tomorrow, still not that strong, 10 to 20 mile an hour gusts. So we're just fine at noon tomorrow. Tomorrow evening
starts to ramp up again. Outer Banks.
Outer Banks. Hatteras, Kill Devil Hills.
Buxton.
We're seeing 30 to 40 mile an hour gusts.
Buxton overwash. We'll have to watch out for that.
Probably.
The afternoon high tide cycle, especially.
Yep. The high tide is a little different than it is for Sewell's Point. It's usually earlier, so it's probably 6 p.m. or somewhere around there.
Maybe around there.
So that's just kind of a guess off the top of my head.
Just watch the afternoon in general because the waves are going to be again much bigger at that point tomorrow.
Huge. Yeah, they'll be really big down there because they're going to be coming in from Erin. It's not the wind generating the waves that's going to bring them in. The wind has already generated the waves as the storm was much farther south, so it's going to be traveling with it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a combo platter. The wind will help to enhance the waves a bit, and the swell already from Erin when it was a Category 5 will be arriving then too.
Not even enhance the waves too, just push the water in.
Yeah.
Just push the entire ocean into the shoreline.
Yeah, just make conditions worse.
Yeah. So our water level just in general, especially for parts of NC12, like we're going to probably see water going right over those. At this point, there's sections of NC12 that are just man-made. They just kind of push the sand right before a storm and just hope for the best.
Yep.
They're not even natural dunes anymore because the ocean's just taking it fully.
There's some trouble spots.
Yeah.
There's some trouble spots, and they got one fixed with the Jug Handle Bridge going to Rodanthe because that area before would always wash out. And I have not gone across the Jug Handle Bridge yet. It's been built for a couple of years. For some reason, I haven't gone down the Rodanthe. I love going to Rodanthe and farther south. I just haven't gone down there yet. So
we got one thing from the Instagram live. Hopefully Hampton is windy enough. I don't have to work. You'll likely be working.
Yeah.
This storm is not going to be that impactful, especially in Hampton. I think we might get gusts to 30, 35 on Thursday. Yeah, like this model here. But it's not going to be, this isn't going to be something that, schools are canceling or
now,
at least in our area.
No, Outer Banks, there could be some disruptions.
Maybe some disruption. Maybe even some power outages too for maybe, again, it's going to be far southern Outer Banks.
Yep.
For the rest of us, like I honestly think even northern Outer Banks is, for the most part, they should stay all right as well, especially kind of towards Kill Devil Hills. Their dune systems are much more built up in a good amount of places. I don't think they'll be having a ton of problems with overwash up there, but you never know. It could. But again, I think power outages is going to be mainly for the Outer Banks, not so much for us. And the wind, it won't be enough to cancel work. Definitely not.
No, not from this storm, but
not from this one.
So this is the wind at 8:30 in the morning. Now, as we go into the midday hours, around noon coming up tomorrow, Thursday, not tomorrow. Thursday. We're seeing gusts around 35, almost to 40 in Virginia Beach. At the ocean front, probably gusting to 40.
Probably gusting to 40. Off the Chesapeake Bay.
Yep. So areas in Ocean View, areas into East Beach, areas into Pocosin.
Chicks Beach,
those spots, you will get the gusts that will be stronger. But you go inland a little bit, it'll be better.
Yeah, and maybe even the water rise as well, because you're not only pushing in water from the ocean with this wind direction, you're pushing it down the Chesapeake Bay too.
Yep.
So, areas that face north along the Chesapeake.
But we don't have it on the map here. Suffolk, Chesapeake, Franklin, Williamsburg, Smithfield, Surrey County. You're not going to get the winds that'll be gusting the 40 miles an hour.
They'll gust maybe 20,
maybe 25. A token 25er.
This is winds that are right up against the coast, really, that you're going to feel at the most. You can go, even at the ocean front, it'll probably be gusting to 40. On the boardwalk, you go a couple blocks inland, it's maybe gusting to 20, 25.
Right.
friction
Totally.
slows down the wind as you go inland. But yeah, I think this is, again, it's going to be really it's going to be a washing machine of an ocean. That's the biggest threat from this.
Yeah, there's Friday morning, so there's that wind that you were talking about. It's still on it on the beach. So
Still on it on the beach.
yeah, that's going to be that could be trouble for anyone wanting to paddle out. So the peak of the winds, we're going to rewind a little bit. Looks to be close to around midday, I would say, for areas in the Hampton Road cities. Around noon is when we see the strongest winds.
I got a good comment. Do I need to bring my canoe to get to work in downtown Norfolk? I don't think you'll need it.
Unless you have to get to work at 9 p.m. on Thursday.
That's the only time where we could see maybe coastal flooding.
And that's what we're going to talk about coming up next.
After the break.
Yes, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to talk about all about the chances for tidal flooding, the flooding that we could see in the area from this wind that's pushing in. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a little bit. All right. How you doing?
Stoked on some waves.
The waves have been so fun.
Really fun.
We got to start with that. Let's just start with a view from Avon again, just to keep an eye on that, and then we'll get into the tidal flooding
You
here.
can't do this to me because I've been looking at it all day.
Well, I want to make sure you don't miss anything.
Almost, I almost came down with a sickness earlier, Jeff.
Uh-oh.
I almost called them and said, "Hey, Jeff, I'm feeling a little sick. The only cure is salt water."
Well, the good news is that everyone heard that. So, all right. So tidal flooding, this is something that we have to watch for. So Sewell's Point, we'll start with here, and then we'll look at a couple of other locations. So we're looking at a good
It's that
chance.
Thursday evening one
Yeah.
we're mainly looking at because the storm's due east basically at that point. It's really Thursday during the day is the closest that storm's going to get to us.
Right.
It's that Thursday's the peak of the surf, peak of that inland push. So we'll watch that evening high tide cycle closely.
There could be another minor tidal flood event on Friday morning around 9 a.m.
Yeah, maybe.
This model doesn't go out that far because we want to focus on for this evening.
Not
but
nearly as as impactful as this Thursday one, though. I think the Thursday
tide.
is the peak.
Yep, moderate
sure.
tidal flooding. So for Sewell's Point, for really pretty much most areas that serve Portsmouth, Norfolk, into the south side, this is a good representation of what we'll see from the storm system. When we look at some other locations, we do have Lynnhaven Inlet on here. It does say major tidal flooding. Major is 5.5. We're looking at 5.8. So for Thursday evening, there could be some significant tidal flooding in areas that see it. So we're going to have to watch this along the Lynnhaven River Inlet Basin closely because that's going to be the spot that will see the tidal flooding.
We got a question about Newport News. Does Newport News have to worry about tidal flooding?
Yes, I would say the same thing. I would put them in the category of Yorktown.
Got it.
So for the peninsula,
So moderate at the peak.
Yep, we're looking at moderate.
5.4 feet.
9 p.m. Thursday. So Yorktown, a good representation. I know it's not Newport News and I know it's not Hampton, but in terms of the timing and the scale that we're going to see, it's a great way to look at it. You're looking at moderate tidal flooding, which would mean some roads could be have water on them, flooded. Not say flooded out, but be flooded.
At least a layer of water on it.
Right.
A couple inches, maybe.
Yeah, it could be not the way you want to go. It could be another route that you want to take because that water's brackish.
It's really just going to be the problem spots, the general problem spots that you typically associate. Like think about like a nor'easter in the wintertime. Where does it usually flood in a nor'easter in the wintertime? And kind of think of that scenario here. Because the storm is going to be basically, it's mimicking kind of what a nor'easter kind of does.
Kind of, sort of, yeah.
Yeah,
Staying along the East Coast, coastal storm, but stronger.
Stronger, definitely stronger.
It's a hurricane.
Exactly.
Kip to Peak, Eastern Shore, watch your tidal flooding too. You could see major tidal flooding coming up Thursday evening. That's at 8 p.m. So for Onancock, the marina there, and other places along the bay side, obviously, of the Eastern Shore, the ocean side, no, but the bay side, yes, you could see some higher than normal tides coming up from the Chickatee. You will see some of that water come up too from the ocean side, as you are on the ocean side, but everyone else is pretty much on the bay side. There's there's islands there that protect the rest of the Eastern Shore, so they're not going to be impacted on the ocean side.
We got questions about Norfolk too. Norfolk floods when it barely rains. Yeah, sometimes it does. We're not so much worried about rain. This is not rainwater flooding that we're talking about here with Sewell's Point. This is the actual coastal flooding. So this is from the wind pushing water in from the ocean and from the Chesapeake Bay. We're probably not going to see much rain at all from this storm for the south side into the peninsulas. We might get a few showers for the Outer Banks, but even then, this is not going to be a rainfall thing for us. It's the onshore wind over a certain length of time, just pushing the ocean into areas where it shouldn't be.
Right. This is going to be a wind-driven tide that we're going to see, and enhanced a little bit by the new moon coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
So that helps to build it up. If you want to put a quantity on that or significance, it could be up to a half a foot enhanced. So that could be helping to swell them up just a little bit more, makes the tides a bit more extreme, and it might be helping that tide on Thursday evening just a little bit, but we're talking in the order of inches, not in the order of feet of a difference.
So for those asking about Norfolk, again, it's going to be your typical problem spots. Not so much with rainwater flooding, but areas close to those rivers or the
Hague and into
Yes,
Norfolk.
yes.
In some areas closer to Ghent that
Yeah.
can see the problems. What I would recommend if you are in one of those areas in Norfolk, maybe move your car to a spot if you know that water tends to come up, because when you get moderate tidal flooding, you can get water. If you're really parked in a bad spot, it can get to the floorboards of the car.
Right.
If you're in the worst possible
And if you
spot.
have a low-lying car, too, one that sits kind of low on the road in general.
Yep.
One that's not, raised. And also, this is salt water we're talking about. We're not talking about, freshwater flooding. This is water that can, do a number on a vehicle if you drive into it, especially.
Yeah, you don't want to be driving into it. I mean, I always compare it to like driving in the wintertime in Minnesota. You drive over the salty roads. It's like that, but you got to make sure that the underbody gets washed off. You got to rinse that off. So that's where we probably wouldn't do that. If you drove through it, you wouldn't rinse it off. You think, it's okay. You want to make sure you get that salty water out of there. One thing I wanted to mention too is if you aren't familiar with what these tides mean in your area, this is a good time to meet your neighbor and to ask your neighbor, say, hey, I saw that we're going to get moderate tidal flooding for the area. Or when we look at the Lynnhaven River inlet kind of zone, Lynnhaven Inlet, we're looking at major tidal flooding. And if you don't quite know what that means because you just moved the town here a year ago, well, this is a good time to ask your neighbor just to make sure that, hey, are we okay? It's a good way to double check in. Eastern Shore, Joe was asking, I think I got your answer to your question, but for Kip to Peak, for the Eastern Shore, you could see some major tidal flooding coming up Thursday evening from the storm. And it's all from the wind of the storm. The strongest wind will be arriving as Erin stays offshore but moves into our area. Thursday midday is when we'll see the strongest winds from Erin as the storm stays offshore, gusting around 35 miles an hour in Virginia Beach. Inland areas in the Hampton Road cities gusting around 30 miles an hour. Maybe farther inland like Suffolk, 20 to 25 miles an hour. Not super windy.
And again, these are
for the inland
gusts.
spots.
These are,
Gusts.
quick
Yep.
bursts of wind. This is not a constant wind.
Generally 15 to 25 mile an hour sustained winds near the water, though. Easily.
Right, near the water. But I'm saying for inland areas, this is going to be like a quick puff of wind.
Yep.
Backs off a little bit.
Backs
quick
off.
puff of wind again.
Yep.
This is mainly going to be a thing where it is the most sustained right up against the water and for the Outer Banks.
So we're going to look at a couple of other things here, including what's looking at the long-term forecast for the hurricane season, because there's more things that the National Hurricane Center is targeting. So we'll look at that. We'll also take a look at Super Doppler 10 to check in with that rain for tonight, as there are some more spots with some spotty showers.
Yeah.
We'll be back in just a little bit. So we've been talking about Erin most of the time here. The waves from Erin have been already showing up. It was so fun this morning.
Since we started this daily BTF podcast,
It's only been Erin.
it has only been Erin. That's how long this storm has been tracked. It's been off the coast of Africa as a tropical wave.
Yep.
Marched all the way across the Atlantic, and it's now at one point was a Cat 5 hurricane.
Yes, with
Down-
160.
Yes. Now it's down obviously to 2. It's fighting a little bit of shear and dry air, but we're still tracking it.
Still tracking
So
it.
much later. It's crazy. What day is it? Tuesday. Over a week.
Yes.
With this new format of the podcast, but we've been tracking this thing for a while.
Models did pretty good
The
job.
European is doing great. The European has been favoring that westward track the whole time,
It has been.
and it's taking that westward track, it seems. Now, the bend is going to be a little more extreme than most of the models had,
Yep.
but the European, I'd say, maybe did a little bit of a better job with the westward shift.
Better job in the last 4 days till this point and going forward.
Yes, for sure, the last 4 days. The
I would-
GFS was really, adamant on that Bermuda impact.
Yes, it was. It was
Yeah.
really stubborn on that. Let's take a look at the track once again here. So we have Category 2 storm staying offshore, closer to us than Bermuda, but we'll still have some strong wind coming from the wind field that were included inside the storm. The storm is going to be so big.
Yeah, as the storm moves north and gets into our area, the wind field is expanding.
So that's just one storm that we've been watching for a very long time. There's 2 other spots that could be developing longer term. One closer to Puerto Rico in the days ahead, and then also a wave of thunderstorms coming off the
Kind of
African continent.
following the orange area, kind of following a similar path to Erin in a way.
The yellow spot may not be something I'm too nervous about at this point if the orange spot develops.
Yeah.
Because that'll rake the coals, it'll churn up the ocean, it'll disturb
Upwelling.
things.
Yep.
Yeah, it won't have chance to. So the yellow spot may not be the big deal. I don't have I do have the Euro model right here. Let's see. It should be working today. Yesterday it didn't work. So there's Erin right now. That's not the next storm. That's Erin. The area of interest is close to the Lesser Antilles, that big splot of green. That's where that next zone is. And as we go into time, into Saturday and into Sunday, I don't really see anything developing off of this model. It just kind of keeps a wave of thunderstorms that heads towards Miami by next week, Wednesday. So that's not looking threatening there at all.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if it does spin up something. There's just another swell incoming.
I haven't looked at the Euro at all yet.
Another little bit of swell.
We're going to look at this together.
First time together.
First time together. Here we go. So that cluster of thunderstorms, that area of rain near Puerto Rico, that's what we're watching.
Yeah.
There goes Erin way to the north. Oh, look, it goes due north.
It goes due north towards
Wow.
Bermuda.
It's
so
gone.
A big split here, and it's not much of anything.
Nah.
So again, these are just the 2 deterministic models.
Yep.
This is just 2 raw outputs. Mm-hmm. There's obviously ensembles we'll have to look at.
Yes.
And as this kind of gets closer to forming, we'll have a better idea. But I'd say right now, we probably don't have to worry too much about it. We'll keep an eye on it, but
Yep.
I think right now we're looking pretty safe. Our focus is on Erin, of course.
Yeah, which is kind of nice. It doesn't look like we're going to have back-to-back storms to track. We'll get maybe a little window where we could get
I'd
a
be
week.
okay with back-to-back storms if the second
stay on
one
the ocean.
stay in the ocean.
I would like a Cat 3 that stays in the ocean, just not hitting Bermuda directly. I never want them to get hit directly, but just missing Bermuda and staying west of them or east of them. That's what I want.
This is us praying for waves.
Yeah,
You
I
can
want to keep
tell-
these waves going.
You can tell it's been a long and flat summer with how much we're praying for storms to come up the coast.
Live look at the North Shore in Oahu right now. We're
You can't keep doing this to me.
Avon, surfchecks.com camera. Their cameras have been great looking at these waves. So this is what
Look
we have.
how big it is compared to the
It's huge.
pier.
Yeah.
The whitewater is like almost to the floorboards there.
Do you think we could get pier damage from any of these?
Could Thursday?
yeah, Thursday?
Definitely, 100%. There could be.
Yeah, we're gonna try and see if we can get you out in the field on Thursday too.
I might be. Jeanette's? I'm going to
Yeah,
Jeanette's.
I think we're gonna get you down to Jeanette's.
At the 12, 4, 5, and 6. So tune in on Thursday, and I'll be giving you what the conditions are from the Outer Banks, really from the worst of it.
Hopefully, there's not too much rain for you when you're out there.
I don't think there will be.
Yeah, I don't think there is gonna
I
be
was
a lot.
looking at models earlier, and it looks like rain. Speaking of which, we do have some right now, but most of it's staying towards Hatteras, Rodanthe, really southern Outer Banks, really.
Yeah.
Speaking of rain right now, though, we do have some downpours across the south side, Chesapeake, Virginia Beach. We had flash flood warnings near Melfa today and Exmoor in the Eastern Shore. Those expired around noon. But yeah, we've had some downpours today, mainly Chesapeake, just east of the Great Dismal Swamp. 264 looking a little bit wet, kind of towards the hilltop area of Virginia Beach. The ocean front looking okay. Maybe just some light showers. ECSC should be fine right now. They're still ongoing with their competition.
Yeah, no lightning there.
No
thankfully.
lightning
That's
either.
good.
It's just heavy rainfall, so we should be all right there. But you can see these storms aren't really moving a whole lot. So
No.
maybe watch out for some localized flooding in the south side. Yeah, we'll zoom back into those cells.
Yeah.
Because we could, we saw it yesterday in the peninsula. That one storm that sat over, what, was it 264? Where was that again? It was
You're talking about the one peninsula that was
Busch
64.
Gardens.
64, not
It was-
264.
It was like the hot spot was like just east of Busch Gardens.
Lee
They had
Hall.
like 4 inches of rain in like 2 hours.
There was a water rescue in Lee Hall too.
Really?
Report from the Weather Service in the evening around 9 p.m. They
So, yeah.
they shared that.
Yeah, Essex Meadows, Great Bridge, it looks like
Kempsville,
just
too.
west of Fentress Landing Field.
Yep.
Lansdowne's looking fine, but look off to your west. Kempsville's a little bit wet. Interstate 64, if you're traveling really kind of from Essex Meadows to Kempsville, off to, towards 264. Yeah, going to encounter maybe some wet roads. Keep it easy on the roadways the next couple of hours. Could see some pretty steady rainfall.
That's what we're going to be watching for at 4 o'clock. We're out of time now. I didn't realize we're totally out of time. So we'll see you back here at 3 o'clock coming up tomorrow.